Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Eric Mintel. Welcome to Eric Mintel Investigates, the interviews. Again, we've got my great friend Morgan Knudsen on today. We are going to talk about some really, really cool things in the paranormal world, not only just the paranormal phenomena. We're going to talk about hoaxes. We're going to talk about all of the proliferation of just misinformation out there as well. So tune in. It's going to be a great show. My name is Eric Mintel. By night, I'm a professional jazz musician. But by even later at night, I investigate the paranormal. I, along with my team at Eric Mintel Investigates, travel the country, investigating all things paranormal. This is Eric Mintel Investigates. Well, as promised, ladies and gentlemen, here she is again, my good friend Morgan Knudsen. Morgan, how you doing?
I am doing amazing. It is good to be here and good to see you as always.
As always, it's always good to see you too. I know every time I log onto Facebook and look at what you're doing, you're always doing something different. You're not only that, you always have a different look, which is you're like a chameleon, it's always like
all the
ever
time.
changing.
Yeah, all the time. I think our looks are something to be played with, and it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And we get too hung up in, oh, I've done this for 20 years, so I got to keep doing the thing. And I'm like, no. You gotta,
Exactly.
you gotta have fun with it. So.
Yeah, if you're not having fun doing especially paranormal research, then you shouldn't be in the business.
Oh, big time. Big time. And it's funny actually, because on my podcast Supernatural Circumstances in the coming year here in January, we just recorded it now. We did an interview with Dr. Dean Radin, and we were talking about how the absence of that connection and that fun, and as soon as you start to input stress and anxiety into whatever you're doing, you're actually hindering the sort of the magic of the universe. You're actually stopping psi events from occurring for you. So you gotta be having fun.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, because when you're not looking for something, right, that's when it happens. And that's just, yeah. And I know we're going to talk about Dogman. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff that's been going on with a lot of your investigations. And of course, people know that you're in, it's Alberta, Canada.
It is.
And how is it, like, it's snowing up there already, or?
Oh, hell yeah, it's snowing up there. It is snowing up here. We have it's a cold week this week. We've had beautiful temperatures all week. But now we are officially into the snow and the blow and the cold. And
now let me ask you this: Does that hinder a lot of your investigations when you're out, investigating Dogman?
Oh yeah. In some ways it's great because you suddenly get a myriad of tracks of every animal imaginable. And in Alberta, you're getting everything from bear to coyote, birds, out like owls, eagles, and things like that. So you're seeing a lot of print, deer, and whatnot. So that's great because tracking becomes a whole lot easier.
Right.
But there's the slog, right? Because half of these areas are not maintained by people. They're open fields and things like that. So if you've got 2 feet of snow, guess what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, better have your snowshoes.
Yeah, you're getting on your snowshoes, and you've kind of got this sort of slog to these areas. And of course, whenever you've got wildlife and you've got trees in front of you, the good thing is you've got the leaves missing, so you've got a clearer view. But if it's snowing, you now have this sort of obstruction of snow that is kind of just offsetting your vision and everything like that. So yeah, it can become it's got pros and cons.
And now with the cold weather too, I know the video that you sent me was phenomenal, because you could definitely see the breath of this creature in the cold. Specializing in preventing environmental corrosion of grills, cable rails, outdoor showers, and more, Obsidian Blue Wave polymers have been an environmental dream for over 10 years. From the Jersey Shore to St. Martin, Obsidian Blue Wave is the perfect choice for homeowners, contractors, or hardscape companies. Call Obsidian Blue Wave today and protect your investment by getting sealed by the shield. Shanghai Jazz has been a staple of gourmet cuisine and incredible live jazz for over 20 years. Owner Tom Donahoe has created an atmosphere where good food and good friends can gather for an unforgettable culinary and musical experience. And don't forget to check out the new Encore Lounge downstairs. Choose from a variety of drinks and wait for the show to begin. Shanghai Jazz, your destination for jazz.
Well, and that actually, it was not cold that day at all. Nobody's breath was visible at
Why don't
all.
we
It was
why don't
this,
we talk why don't we just go right there? Let's go and
sure.
tell the people that, like, take me back to that day. What happened? And that was recent, right?
Very recent. The last number of months, we've been doing a lot of work in Alberta with Dogman and that research and things like that. And it's been the prime time to do it. There's been activity every time we've gone out. And this one particular incident, we actually had a group of people. We were doing a workshop. My friend Terry Lynn and I were doing a workshop. And lo and behold, as we're walking down this trail, we heard this sort of rough noise. It was sort of this gruff huffing,
Mm-hmm.
and right in front of one of the girls that was with us, she had her phone camera just sort of running in front of her, and Terry Lynn felt this sort of blowback, like actual air being huffed at her face. And you can see in the video this expansion of I don't know whether it's a mist or a smoke or something like that, clear as a bell,
Yeah.
explodes in front of us. And yeah, no explanation, no nothing. But it was very reminiscent of what you and I have talked about with Dogman, with this sort of mist showing up.
Right.
And this was preceded by this sort of very gruff, growling, ruff
Wow.
noise. And it just, I mean, there's nothing there. It wasn't cold enough to see our breath. There was low humidity in the air. I mean, when you start to rule stuff out, it shouldn't have been there.
And this was in your area, right? This was
yeah,
fairly close.
this was fairly close. It's about an hour or so from me. But yeah, it's really, really unique. And so some of this stuff is, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like, thank God, people like us are out in the field. We're actually doing the research. We're getting these things, documented. And then, of course, what I've been noticing lately, I've been noticing a lot of misinformation and a lot of like hoaxing going on when it's dealing with Dogman, Bigfoot. I mean, it's just, if you go on any Facebook site with Bigfoot, you could just, I mean, it's like clearly a fake, and I'd rather just see, and I just would unfollow that because, I want to see proof. Look, it's what we're doing. It's like we're looking at it scientifically, right? And we're trying to approach this in a truthful manner. So when you're having experiences like that, and that you're capturing on video, it's got to be seen, and people are seeing that, and you can't explain what that was, and you're still wrapping your head around it, as we were still wrapping our heads around what happened to us in Elkhorn.
Yeah.
So, and then you see a lot of these pictures of, clearly it's like, there's shadows there that is nothing there. It's just nothing there. But yet it's being touted as there's a Bigfoot or there's a Dogman. I don't know. What do you think about that? What's
No,
your
I
thoughts on that?
completely agree. And I mean, there's always the people, of course, that misidentify what they've caught. I mean,
Right.
there's always room for that angle of it. I mean, God knows I've done it.
Yeah,
Where I thought I
same
had
here.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you think you have something, and then someone goes, you know what? It's probably blank, and you go, oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. There's
Everyone
always other theories. There's always
Totally.
other explanations.
I think where this gets dangerous with what the whether it be a misidentification of evidence or a blatant hoax is when the discussion stops.
Right.
And that to me is where the problem in a lot of these communities is that if it's not the narrative that the person is offering, then therefore, it's wrong, you're wrong, the discussion gets shut down. And as soon as you've got a lack of discussion, it promotes a lack of thinking, and therefore that's a big problem, because now you're suddenly canceling a conversation where thinking is going to lead you to the truth of whatever that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have that, then I mean that's it's a big problem. You can't cancel that discussion.
Yeah, I had, and I'm not to mention any names, but I had an opportunity to be on a YouTube show to be interviewed, and I wasn't able to get on the actual YouTube channel of I was going on some kind of like a premium part of the channel, and but that wasn't as viewed as much. Only, and the reason being was we didn't actually see the Dogman. If we saw it, or if we said we saw it, then oh yeah, you could get on the show, no problem. But that's, to me, is completely wrong. And it's just like, but and we didn't see it. I mean, I plainly, plainly had said that from day one. But we've heard it, and we saw the eye shine. So something was there. Something was there. And same thing with you. And the other thing is too, are these creatures able to even be photographed? I mean,
Yeah.
we see from your research, from Lee Hampel's research, we always see like just maybe a blurry image or something like that. And sometimes it's there, but you can't, there's that mist again, right? That comes
Yeah.
around, and it's in one picture, it like covered Lee's body, and it was just the weirdest thing. But what is it? That's the thing. But we're not saying that we're seeing it, it's not manifesting itself. Maybe it is a manifestation. I don't know. Maybe that's the way we should look at it too. But in my research, I mean, and some of the other things that you and I both have talked about, it's kind of like, wow, I never want to mislead anybody ever,
Yeah, well, and I think, and I think the other side to that, and exactly what you're saying is the transparency part of what we do is to be open to the idea that somebody that is third party, that is looking or observing something, might have a take on it that, when we've got it this close to our face, we can't see, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We can't see. So, I think that's where things, when you can really start to pick out whether or not somebody's intentions are okay or not, is when if you offer an explanation to something, and then immediately it's responded with hostility or anger,
Oh,
or
I'm totally.
yeah, as soon as that dynamic starts happening, then the thinking and the discussion in what's going on, it becomes
Yeah, you want to have a
impossible.
discussion. You want to have a discussion. You're not
Yeah.
saying to that person it's like you're lying, or you're not saying that. It's just, this is
No.
my opinion on what it is.
Well, and you have to be able to allow somebody to disagree with you,
Oh
because
yeah,
as long as
absolutely.
we don't have people that will disagree with us, it doesn't challenge our own narrative as to what we're seeing and what we're believing. And
Yeah.
we know for instance that, as our perception of the world very much influences what we see
Mhm.
physically and non-physically. It very much is intertwined with that. So sometimes, just to keep our feet on the ground, we need people to come in and say, okay, let's go through the myriad of what this could possibly be.
Right.
And I think anybody who's offering evidence in a productive and influential way is going to very much welcome that discussion. If you can turn around and say, I know without beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is, whatever, some sort of camera anomaly or whatever, here's what it is and how it was done,
Right.
then the person, you have to be open to that, and you have to weigh it very carefully, especially when it's people who know what they're talking about.
Right.
When you step on the beautiful grounds of New Spirit Old Soul, you get that familiar feeling. That feeling of being home. A husband and wife team bringing a unique architectural salvage to every home or business. The grounds can also be rented for that special occasion or a private event. Goods for the uncommon home. New Spirit Old Soul. Hop aboard the New Hope Railroad and travel back in time, riding through scenic Bucks County. Ride the Halloween Scare Train, the Fall Excursion, the Speakeasy Train, Grapevine Express, or new for 2022, the Santa North Pole Deluxe Train. The New Hope Railroad also offers private charters, weddings, birthday parties, and more. Gift certificates are also available. Your magical journey begins with the New Hope Railroad. Make memories that last a lifetime.
Right. Exactly. And look, I went as I've told you before, I went into the Beast of Bray Road investigation not thinking that we'd ever see anything. I wasn't expecting to see anything that was, or hear anything.
Yeah.
I went in with a mindset of like saying that, oh, we're probably not going to hear or see anything. We're going to go in, but I did go in with like, we're going to meet Lee. We're going to hear some great stories. We're going to see his incredible research. And all the people that came up to us and said that they had these experiences and taught
Yeah.
eyewitnesses and things like that. And then actually encountering something on Lee's farm that night. I mean, we just hit like a trifecta of like paranormal activity. We hit the paranormal lottery that night, so it was crazy. And again, it was something that I wasn't expecting. Dominic wasn't expecting. Ellen wasn't expecting. We were not expecting that at all. So for us, that was a genuine, right there, live on camera reaction to what we were experiencing.
Yeah.
And you said something in the past, which I love. and this thought manifestation. Tell people about how those intentions can sometimes be either misinterpreted or misdirected somehow.
Yeah, well, it's actually strongly based in solid science now. We know for a fact that intention can, say, for example, shift the results of an experiment, or change exactly what we're perceiving based on person to person, which is also interesting. Is that you can start seeing something and interpret it one way, and have a person beside you would see the same thing and have a different interpretation of it. But our intention and how we move into these cases is so crucial, because when we look at experiments, specifically, I'll cite the Institute of Noetic Science, for instance. They were at the point when they were doing experiments that they wouldn't even post the fact that they were doing experiments, nor would they post a picture of the building, because what they discovered was that if somebody has intention to shift the results of what they're doing, it's like turning around and researching biology with dirty test tubes. As soon as you start mixing this stuff together, then obviously your results are tainted, and that can happen just simply with the focus of intention, which is pretty amazing. So the whole phrase "thrive quietly" is a
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
yeah, and keep this stuff close to the vest, because otherwise, yeah, if you've got people with negative intentions, or people that just don't agree with what you're doing, and they're sending these negative vibes, it can literally change the course of what you're doing, which is
Oh yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing is too, I always say that, maybe some people's antenna are up a little bit more for these experiences than the average person. Like I would go to a haunted location, and I may not feel what Dominic is feeling, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, and I'm not, but what I'll do is I'll go in and get that history from the owner, and then I'll never tell Dominic like where we're going, and
Yeah.
nothing like that. So
Yeah.
until we get to the actual location. So, and it's funny, but not funny, but it's amazing that he'll go right to those areas that I know that person has had activity, and he'll go right to those spots. And that's why the Beast of Bray Road was like really out of his wheelhouse, because it was, and I swear, I think he's a magnet for this stuff. I would love to come to Alberta and go and investigate Snoopy, because I'll tell you what, I think we probably have some major activity going on.
Well, it's been really amazing, actually. The last number of weeks, we had out my co-host from Supernatural Circumstances, Mike Brown, and he
Right.
lives in Vancouver, and he came out for a couple of days, just a couple of weeks back here, and he had never had anything like that. Had never been in the field with anything like this before. So we were like, you know what, we'll take him out, because the odds are, like, when we're going around, we usually, if you can find the pack, you can usually figure out exactly where they are and whatnot. So you can
And
kind of,
Mike has now had a nervous breakdown.
well, so we were out there, and we were driving around sort of the hot spots, kind of just taking a look, taking a feel, as to see if we could find where they had gone for the night and whatnot. And because it's a large area, so you kind of have to hit and miss for a while. And so finally we came to this one area near the lake where they have been seen before. And lo and behold, way off in the field, in the tree line, of course, what pops up but our two bright eyes. We see these two bright eyes, and we thought, I wonder if that's one of them. And they were too high to be a coyote. They were too high, and it wasn't eye shine, as we've talked about before. It's a glow.
It's a glow.
Dense, intense glow.
An internally generated glow. Right.
Yeah. And so we see these little eyes pop up. We thought, oh, for heaven's sakes. And lo and behold, we saw in the shadow, we saw the silhouette of one step out from behind a tree, and you could see the long arm and the curved body and whatever, and very dark, but as I say, it was quite a ways back. And we noticed another pair of eyes pop up on one of the ridges.
Oh wow.
And we thought, and we had our headlights, we're sitting in the vehicles at the time, we have our headlights onto this field, so I think they were interested in whatever the hell we were doing, shining lights into their house, right?
Yeah.
And so they're looking and whatever, and Mike, he's sitting in the car, and God bless one of my friends, because she had everybody of course had their cameras going. She has her camera going, and she's listening. She captures his audio as she's filming this, and of course, and all you could hear is, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's moving. So this progression, right, of realizing what he's looking at, and we were in separate vehicles, which was
Oh
really cool.
man.
So everybody was having these experiences separately. So we were able to
Wow.
bring the audio back together at the end, realizing no, everybody was looking at the same thing. It wasn't like a mass hallucination or something like that. Everybody's looking at the same thing. We caught some pretty cool video.
Judith A. Harris, attorney, partner, and chair of the Estate Trust and Tax Group of the law firm of Norris McLaughlin, with offices in Allentown, PA, Bridgewater, New Jersey, and New York City. Norris McLaughlin is a full-service law firm handling matters ranging from estates, trust and tax business law, litigation, real estate, intellectual property, healthcare law, municipal law, and immigration law, just to name a few. Norris McLaughlin. In the heart of beautiful Bucks County, you'll find Peddler's Village, a village of shopping and dining, a village of family fun, a village of elegance. Visit Peddler's Village today and make memories that last forever. In the heart of Quakertown, you'll find McCoole's Red Lion Inn, a beautiful, historic restaurant where friends can gather and enjoy award-winning food and drink time and time again. And next door, step inside the beautiful McCool's Arts and Events Center and wait for the show to begin. McCool's Red Lion Inn.
Absolutely.
I never discount what people are seeing. I'm pretty good at, and you are too, of discerning the BS from the truth,
Yeah.
But again, people are seeing something, whether it's Dogman, UFOs, ghosts. I know, tell the folks, I know you just did a little run on haunted hospitals. And as a matter of fact, that's when I first saw you, was on one of the episodes of Haunted Hospitals. And then it was funny because the paranormal world is it's a big world, but it's a small world. With the right people, it's a small world.
Totally.
And that's how we connected. But how did that go? How was the TV show, and how was the season?
Oh, it was great. It's airing in Canada right now. Eventually, Travel Channel will air it in the States. It's airing in Canada and the UK at the moment. But I think it's one of our best seasons. I think there's some really interesting stories. And I think they've approached it really well. I think the producers really were looking for different stories this time, things that were just really out of the box, and we're able to tell those stories in an interesting but honest way. And I think the transparency thing is
Oh, yeah.
so important. So
Looking for a vacation home? Look no further. Will Nicholson of Tomlinson Sotheby's has just what you're looking for. World-class entertainment at Schweitzer Mountain or water sports at Lake Pend Oreille, Idaho has it all. Fresh powder skiing, live music, multiple restaurants, and downhill biking in the summer. And, if you're lucky enough, you might spot Bigfoot. He loves it here. Give Will a call today.
What have you got in the last couple of minutes here? What do we got going on with Morgan? What's happening this year? You've got a lot of stuff. You do a great show, TV. Any other projects going on?
Yeah, well, actually, I've just partnered with a local theater here that we're hoping to bring quite a large show, at least to Alberta, but then we'll be taking that to the US and whatever as well. So that's I think the main focus of the new year is going to be that. And
I know a cool speaker you can hire for.
Yay! Yeah, we're like that's what I'm hoping to do is
That's awesome.
To bring some of this stuff as we're talking about, to a table that, where people can experience these ideas and some of this evidence and things like that in a really fun way where people will remember and learn, because that, I think, is so much of what's missing, is that people are arguing and they're getting into the Facebook groups and Twitter and blah, and everybody's just in a fight trying to present this and present that, and half of it's half baked, and it's and it's crazy, but yet there's real stuff that's out there that's that's pretty amazing. So we're hoping to showcase some of that and get people thinking about this
Very
stuff
cool.
and asking questions. But yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. And then we're going to be offering some more workshops and stuff like that as well. But hopefully we get a season 5 of Haunted Hospitals.
That'd be awesome. That would be phenomenal. And then your website, tell people where they could find you and your books too on Amazon.
Yeah, you bet. So entityseeker.ca is the go-to for
Right there.
everything. Yeah, everything, entityseeker.ca. And you can find my classes, shows, YouTube videos. Yeah, all the books. I've got a book coming out with author Chad Lewis, a cryptozoologist and folklorist, that's coming out pretty soon, called Winter Legends and Folklore, which I illustrated and did the forward for. And his writing's amazing. So definitely pick that up. It'll be available sometime this coming month.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be great.
Super fun.
Very cool. Well, I can't wait to see you. Always, like I said, you've always got something going on, so that's great. There, and you play with fire, so there's never you always have a fire under your butt. So
I do. I have no excuse to not work. That's basically what it is.
Exactly. We love what we do, right? We love what we do. And well, I'll tell you what. Thank you so much again for being here. Be safe. Have an awesome holiday, and with you and your loved ones, and be careful of Dogman. And we'll see you next time. All right.
Thank you, Eric.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again. Morgan Knudsen, check her out. She's phenomenal. And we're going to be bringing a whole bunch of new people on this season of Eric Mintel Investigates. And I know Morgan's going to be coming back for another episode. So again, everybody have a great holiday. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.